Good morning, time is 8:30. It's Thursday, April 24th. I'm gonna call to order the Albany Parking Authority meeting. Did folks get a chance to take a look at the Thursday, March 27th meeting, the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
And a second?
Aye.
Turn it over for the report from the finance.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met on April 18th, 2025. And we'll quickly go over the minutes. The March financial statement summary is as follows. In March, total revenue amounted to $691,556, while total expenses were $588,086, leading to a net income of $103,471. All revenue streams except the monthly revenue exceeded projections in March. Meter revenues increased from February to March by $40,000, driven by the legislative session. Daily meter revenue surpassed $12,000 on 10 separate days. Review of the investment portfolio was conducted. Debt service account has a balance of $1,588,307. Short-term account has a balance of $508,412, and the long-term account has a balance of $723,218. Our EV charger account has a balance of $45,651. We reviewed the quarterly, the first quarter, the quarterly meter and enforcement revenue and expenses. In the first quarter, our meter revenues were $752,927, and expenses were $130,070. Enforcement revenues were $1,222,665, with 22,002 tickets issued. Thank you very much. That's concluded our meeting.
Anyone have any questions about? I'll turn it over to Sean for enforcement.
Thank you, ma'am. As previously stated in our finance committee meeting, enforcement did have a record-breaking quarter. Every month was a record-breaking month, with March being $469,172 in revenue for the city.
On to communications.
You have none?
New business.
Okay. Oh, downtown bid wayfinding sign installation. That project is resuming in May because the weather has gotten better. So they'll be able to do their concrete work for their bases. So we'll start seeing those upgrades fairly soon. I imagine they'll finish by the time Tricentennial Park is completed. Moving on to repair and preventative maintenance. We will be resuming the construction for the new entryway again in the first week of May. And we issued this year's RFP for repairs. And those are due.
They'll be back in front of board in May. We'll get them in early May.
And then moving on to resolution for the sole source procurement for the flash parking exit and entry system. This is related to the new entry redesign at Hudson Avenue because we're putting in a reversible lane again. So that's just the equipment related to that. It's coming out of bond funds as intended.
So we'll take up resolution 2025-04-01. Can I get a motion, please? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you much.
Active class report.
Yes, in March overall, we had a 14 pass growth. I just want to remind the board that we did have a 52 car cancellation in February due to the New York. I always forget that.
Yeah, I forgot what it was.
Business development.
Business development, yes, yep, they moved out.
So the trend following from last year appears to be, we tend to lose a large corporate, and then we start to get some peppered in individuals and small corporates to follow. Any questions?
Quarterly term report?
Kevin?
So again, to just piggyback off what Sean said, we continue to see growth in individual passes, steady growth in individual passes. And our decline growth is in corporate passes. That's where the erosion is. Over the past quarter, again, we've had steady and strong pass sales. The majority of that is next slide. You're good. Is individual pass. These are full price passes as opposed to discounted passes. It's like corporate passes for bulk. And as Sean pointed out, the drop in February was from that account. But steadying the ship is the individual sales, as they are generally $15 to $20 more than the corporate passes that we are losing. In some cases, $50 more because of legacy contracts. Events, we've had a slow start to events this year. That's just due to the fact that we had such a strong previous 2 years with NCAA last 2 Marches. We do still expect this to have increased sales for events from the rest of the year, though. Last month, we saw what I would consider a standard or normal event rate sales of $34,000 in event rate. Again, this is just because there was no 3-day NCAA event. But coming up, we do have a number of sold out shows at the MVP. Next month is Shane Gillis, which is completely sold out. So we expect to do very well on that. The Palace has a number of good shows coming up also next month. Pat Benatar, Melissa Etheridge, which are close to sold out at both locations. And then going further into the year, there's the CrossFit Games in August and steady, hopefully the move of Live at 5 back to downtown. That will also help us with events. You'll see that in both Riverfront and Quackenbush at its new locations.
That'll be good for us.
Yeah.
Daily rate structure. Thank you, Dominic.
Yeah, no problem.
Daily rate structure update, it was effective as of March 31st, and it's almost been a month, 0 complaints. So fantastic. Not that anybody could really complain much about it because we have not increased our rates in like 20 years. So good to go.
Meter update.
Yes, ma'am. Meter updates. The pilot program for the year has, the final phase for this year has been completed. We've had areas for app only at the end of Broadway, the beginning of Broadway. Grand Street recently got converted. Lake Street, Quail Street, all the side streets on Central Avenue have been converted. We started with our low occupancy areas, but then I just want to remind the board that when we first started this a few years ago, we did start in a high occupancy area right on State Street and Pearl. 0 complaints there. So it's been going great. And, again, the goal is to have very little physical meters on the street, improves the streetscape, et cetera. Plus, it's just very clean for us not to deal with cash. Any questions?
EV charger update?
EV charger update. We had a small decline in March compared to last March. I'm thinking that is due to the large number of corporate passes being canceled. I assume that a lot of them do use our chargers at Quackenbush and Riverfront. However, Green Hudson seems to be climbing, so that's good.
Grant update.
Grant updates. GDA will be submitted at the end of the month. So we're hope to see that reimbursement by Q3, Q4 if we're lucky. The build grant, the award date is in June. We have not heard anything, about that, so we won't know until then.
Any questions on that? Hearing none, unfinished business?
I have none.
Any need to go into executive session?
I do. For the, purposes, the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or the proposed acquisition of securities or sale or exchange of securities held by such public body, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value thereof.
I get a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Staff can
Can I get a motion to get out of executive session?
Second.
No action was taken in executive. Do we have any other business?
no.
All right, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for.